So we're going to dive in and talk about yoga. I want to first go to modern yoga. Pretty much since the beginning of like the early 1900s, there's been this metamorphosis of yoga, and there's now an actual part of yoga that's called modern yoga. It speaks a lot more to the physical practices, finding well-being in the body, health of the body, and I found it really fascinating. I just got to recently learn that that modern yoga actually, more of the yoga masters who created it have their roots in more of bodybuilding, which was a really big thing in India, which surprised me. My teacher actually comes from that. He learned this Surya Namaskar, or the sun salutations, how we do them today. They were developed for a physical practice, like in bodybuilding, for the military, wrestlers. And it's interesting how that then just came into more of this physical asana practice. So modern yoga is focused a lot more on that well-being of the body as well as the mind, because again, those practices, it also, brings in some breath work like pranayama. Over time, like even back in the early 1900s, devotion was a big part of it. So still a spiritual part of it, practice. And that's more and more been lost. And so going over to traditional yoga is more of an actual spiritual path that uses techniques to draw a person more and more inward, an inward focus. The ultimate connection in yoga is to ultimately what our true self, or our true nature is. It's sifting out what is impermanent. So, anything that changes is impermanent, to connecting to what is permanent. So what is truth, ultimate truth? Said when you unite or connect with that's when you find moksha, or that's kind of translated loosely into enlightenment. There's a real big focus in traditional yoga on, using past scriptures. So we're going to talk about one tonight. Other interpretations and writings from past masters called rishis. Also having a guru is important. And then a big, huge thing, and it's one reason why I'm drawn to yoga, is that it's about personal experience. That even what's written, so even what we go over tonight, it's not to take it as fact. It's to take it as, all right, let me experiment myself and see if I find these things to be true or not. And that's different than, again, modern yoga, which tends to, you have a class, someone's telling you what to do. They're depending on the teacher you have and what their training is, that will bring in that self-inquiry. I would hope so, because that's kind of that what can help to calm the mind and start to transform ourselves in other ways too. Watching yoga in this country is starting to see modern yoga coming back to grabbing little pieces more of traditional yoga. And so it'll be interesting to see just what ends up happening over like another century with it. But we are a very physically oriented culture. And so it's not surprising that the asanas, the physical posture, is where we've connected with it.